Hello, everyone. This is Planckera, and welcome to my universe. Okay. I wasn't sure if my microphone was working there for a second. I didn't have a chance to do a sound test. You ever have those days where you just lose track of time somehow, and then there's stuff to do? It's one of those days for me. Anyway, it's drawing time. Yeah, I was looking at everything here. I think everything is pretty okay. I think Pippa's still looking pretty alright, so I just wanted to go through and correct a couple of the things from yesterday. I think this bunny looks okay, but this one, I don't know. He looks a little insufficiently fluffy to me, and also I think his head is a little bit big, so I just wanted to fix things up. The awkward part is that I think his head is big, but his ears are not. So, I think I might just make the body bigger instead. Although, even proportionally to the ears, I think the head is still a little big. So, no, there's no way around it. I gotta do some reconstructive surgery here. It's all good, I'll figure it out. Alright. So I did indeed figure out how to get proper waiting rooms up yesterday, so that was nice, I think. So now there will be proper waiting rooms, and you can go in there whenever you're ready. And who knows, maybe next time, or eventually, I'll even have some like pre-stream chatter going in there. That'd be pretty awesome. That sounds pretty good to me, so I'm glad I went and figured it out. It honestly wasn't that hard, but the process of actually starting the stream is a little bit different. Because normally I just hit the button, and then I hit the button in OBS, and then I go. But it's a little bit different when I do it from, what's it called? From a scheduled stream. So, still kinda gotta get used to that a little. But it's not too bad. I should be able to figure it all out. And hopefully this will clear up any confusion about, you know, when everything starts and when I will actually be live. It's every day. Yes. Okay, I think he's already looking a little cuter, now that his head isn't quite so bulgy. This does not fix the fluffiness issue, but it's a start. Let's go fix that fluffiness issue. I think it's mostly the highlights. I probably rushed a little bit at the end there. That's alright. That is why the next day when I'm coming in fresh, I always take a look at everything that I was doing before, and then I can go back over it and get it the way I want. So here, I just think he needs to be a little bit fluffier. And once that fluff is in there, I think he will be just fine. And he can be rolling around in the snow. And much like this guy, I think I'll put a little bit of snow on top of him. I didn't do that either. But first, I gotta fix the fluff. I gotta fix this fluff. Let's get him nice and fluffy. I feel like when you're drawing animals, especially ones that do have this kind of fluff to them, you gotta really pay attention to the parts that make them cute. It's like when I draw snakes, you gotta make sure you get those beady little eyes just right. And add in some cute little scales here and there. But with bunnies, I do think it is all about the fluff. Because bunnies are very soft. Very, very soft animals. So I better take care to make sure that the bunny looks very, very soft. I think it would just be wrong otherwise. Wouldn't be cute at all. Okay, there we go, getting a little bit fluffier there. I'm just gonna take my time. I think today seems like a good day to just kind of chill out and enjoy a nice simple stream. I'm not even gonna set any particular goals for what to get done today. I'm just gonna go. Because I think today I just kind of want to draw some cute stuff and not worry about things. That's honestly a great use for just kind of drawing stuff. And frankly, I've been feeling a little bit creatively burned out between Inktober and Novel November. So, you know, I gotta have those breaks occasionally. I've been trying to get started on Christmas gifts because I like to draw some pictures for people every year, and have not. But it's okay, it's only December 1st. I still have plenty of time. So I'm just gonna take it easy for a little bit. Have some a nice time just drawing some fluffy bunny ears. And there we go. I think that guy's looking a little fluffier now, so let's get some snow on him. This guy's mostly in shadow. So all things considered, I should probably keep him in shadow, but, you know, that's going to be weird with snow, so I'm still going to use the default snow color, unshadowed. It'll look strange. It will. But it'll get better, I promise. Let's get him nice and just like a little bit buried in snow here. Just, you know, a little bit buried in... I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to worry that things look a little strange for the time being. I'll make them better later once I handle all the lighting and stuff. Right now, I just want to get the snow on him. He's just going to be rolling around in it. There we go. There we go. Nice little bit of rolling around. Okay, and I just drew that all directly on the layer. If I want to adjust it, which here I do just a little bit, then all I gotta do is grab my fluff brush again and we'll just let some fur kind of come on over. It'll be kind of like this. And I think I'll shade it a little bit. Just a little bit. Where's my swatch? I don't want to overdo it. But I don't think it'll look like puffy, chunky snow without a little bit of shading. And I do want it to look that way, and I'll blend out all the colors and stuff when it comes time to properly shade everything here. But there we go. I think that's sufficient for now. That is a little bunny rolling in the snow. And then once I shade everything around here, I think everything will, you know, it'll be pretty good. So today, I mostly want to work on Pippa, but there's one thing that I feel like I need to do before I can do that, and that's this little bird here. This little bird is going to be living on her shoulder. So I want to make sure it is, for one, properly sitting on her shoulder of where I have declared it, which is right about there, and I think that's fine enough. It's like a lot of this is going to get buried in the poncho and whatnot, and I did double check a lot of my proportions, and I think it's all fine. This arm might be just a little bit long. You know, it might be, actually. Well, I'm going to get the bird onto her shoulder. Let me properly plop this on there. Because if I'm going to put it on her shoulder, it should be about here. Which does, unfortunately, cover parts of her little earmuffs, but I think it's okay. Okay, you know what? I better take a look at those arms again. Like, this arm feels pretty okay to me. If it were to swing, I think it would go down more toward her belly button. But this, I'm not so sure, because this side feels really, really long. It's mostly here. This part feels okay to me. It might be a little bit long. Okay. Let's go find Mr. Snowman here, and I'm gonna drag Pippa on top of it for now. Where is it? Okay, I did it. Cool. Yeah, we're good. I wasn't sure for a second there. Okay. So the big thing that I want to make sure of is that her hand is able to get onto that snowman. Okay, I'm gonna hide the snowman for a second, and I'm just gonna focus on the arm, and then I will move the snowman to a better spot after I have the arm in a place that makes me happy. Okay. So I'm just going to take a look at this. Don't mind all of the little lumps I put on there. They're just there to kind of help me see landmarks. If her arm was not going to be covered up, I would make those look better, but you know, it is. So it just doesn't really matter that much. So I think I went up here just to be like slightly shorter. But the part that needs to be much shorter is through here. This part is definitely too long. All right, there we go. I think that's a lot better. Maybe I'm looking at my arm real quick. Arms, man, they are truly my nemesis. I think everybody has an aspect of art that they have a little bit of a hard time with. No, I liked the way it looked better before that. I do think that the bottom part is a little bit long, but the top part was fine. And I shouldn't have moved this up so much. I think the real issue is just that this arm is a little short. I was perhaps thrown off a little bit just by slightly different proportions that I'm used to. Pippa's head perhaps a little bit bigger than what I'm used to. Normally, I draw my characters a little bit more proportionally accurate as opposed to a little bit squishier like this. But no, I think the real issue is that this arm's a little short. Okay. So if that's the case, I kind of want to keep her head here. So the way I'd fix that is I'd just grab like her entire shoulder. You know what? I'm gonna lock my head group just so I can keep moving everything together and have an easier time that way. This is gonna break a lot of things on the body, but it's fine. The body's still very rough. So I'm gonna lower this shoulder just a little bit. Pull this part down a little. And rotate the other part of her arm a little bit higher. So this should also give it a little bit more of a relaxed looking grab, which I think is a plus. I don't want to change the location of the hand, I just kind of want to change... I just want to make the arm longer, right? But the hand and the shoulder should stay in roughly the same place, so that means that I drop the elbow a little. That's how I manage that. So then I just got to connect them together. The color here doesn't really matter, so I'll just use this one. Don't mind that the arm looks a little broken, it's fine. And then I just fix it on the dress layer. Get that sleeve kind of on there like that, and angle it down a little bit more. And good enough. It's all going to be covered up. Okay, I do have the upper arm a little bit too long and the lower arm a little bit too short, so let's pull this back a little. But that is good news, because it means I don't really have to move the snowman around very much at all. And I'll take that. Arms are truly my nemesis, though. Their tubular nature just eludes me. It's probably going to be one of the early things I study. Yeah, now I actually do have time for proper studies again, so I'll probably actually do some studying. I know I said that I often don't, and I don't, but I want to speed up my drawing, so I do think that I'm at the point where I do have to do some studying, and I can't just keep drawing pictures and just flailing until I get it right. It's a little time-consuming. And I do think that arms and shoulders and how they all connect into the torso is going to be a big thing. And I think I do like legs and hips way better than I do the upper torso. So I think just in general, I should do lots of torso studies. So that will be a goal at some point. You know, I should actually make sure I like where her hand is. Yeah, her hand looks good there. Okay. Arms feel a little bit better now. Just, you know, a little bit noodly, but that's just because there's going to be a coat on them, so I didn't bother to fix them. I get to make my life easy and just, like, look at that. It's beautiful. They're not there at all. Not at all. Okay. So now I'm going to be going back and forth between designing the coat and the rest of the outfit, and then kind of rendering things. So what I want to do is I want to get things into a relatively clean state. I'm not going to smooth things out like the edge of her dress here. This is fine for what I'm doing right now. And I want to get a general gist of where a lot of the folds and stuff are and just how I want the design to shake out. So that's all I'm going to do for now. This is going to be a design stream, I suppose. And I think here what I'm going to do is I'm going to just turn everything yellow. I think that's good, so that this way I can keep the dress itself pink, and I'll probably put some pink decorations on here at some point. I am very much torn between leaving it a solid color and putting lots of cute decorations on it. It's a tough choice. But for the time being, I'm going to focus on silhouette, basically. And just making sure that the silhouette of the outfit looks very nice. And I won't be masking anything on the snowman or anything until I know how she's gonna look. So once I have this hand fully rendered, then I will mask the snowman, so this way her hand is on top of it instead of behind it. Initially, I just had, like, the arm up on top there, and that was fine for then. But it's kind of a pain to manage layers like that, especially when I want to be adding some effects at the end and making everything look nice there. So, you know, as I typically do in my process, I do have some layers sitting on top that will affect lighting and whatnot. And it is a pain to manage that if I have to have part of her not be in the group. And I don't want the snowman to be in the group to be affected by the same lighting. So it's okay. I'll just erase, or I guess mask more accurately, part of the snowman. Okay. And let's hide her head for a second there. Just so this way I know, I kind of liked where I had the color of the shirt and the neck kind of defining the center there. So I'm feeling out the center of all this. There definitely has to be a nice big pink ribbon around here. And then I think I'll have it be like a turtleneck-esque thing, and it'll come up her neck a little, like that. but I wasn't sure how much that would be visible, so looks like not very much at all. And just due to this arm coming back and this arm going forward, it's actually going to open up this cape, coat, poncho thing, shawl. And we'll get to see more of the dress there, and I like that. I want to be able to show off lots of nice things on there. And then it'll kind of drape onto her hand here, which will also make this part a little bit less square. So I'm gonna pull this a little bit over here. We might even see a little part of the elbow. I'd rather not, so I'm gonna just cover it up. Sure am. I don't want to draw it, so I'm not gonna. I don't feel like I have to in this particular drawing here. And I'll have it kind of cover up part of her wrists. And I'll just, let it gently sit on her arm like this. Put in some little folds there. It's a nice thick cloth, so I want it to bunch up a lot around her arm where it's gonna kind of be resting, like right through there. And then at some point I'll draw the backside. It'll go around like that. I guess I can do that now. Let's see, do I have a yellow swatch yet? I think I do. Is that you? Are you the yellow swatch? You are the yellow swatch. Let's pick a nice shadow color. I'll pick a couple. So for starters, that'll be some purple. That's a pretty good color right there. So that'll be my first shadow color, and then I'm going to get a darker one. Let's see if more dark purple on overlay looks good, or if I need to set it to multiply. It's starting to get a little pinker than I want, so I'm going to try multiply. And see, like, multiply might leave it a little bit too purple. So I'm going to go for a very, very, very desaturated purple here. If you're ever curious about my colors, they will be up here. I don't have a big color wheel on my screen. I don't really feel the need to use it, and I already feel like I'm really low on screen real estate. So, if anything, I'd honestly like this thumbnail to be a little bit bigger. Such is life. The really desaturated color looked pretty bad. And that does too, so, okay. We go and use the very pink one. I'll just make it slightly less of a saturated purple, make it a little bit more gray, and maybe I'll get a slightly better color. That's a pretty good one. Still pretty pink, but I think it'll be fine. I'm not going to add the fluff or anything yet. If you remember, I had a layer of fluff going around it. Not worried about those details yet. I just kind of want to know the general silhouette and how this will be sitting on Pippa here. Let's go ahead and add the back of her coat. Gotta kind of come from over here. Do I want it to hang down like that? No, I think I just want it to be stretched over like this. This is why I was a little bit worried about making it too pink. I was afraid that it would blend in with her dress, but I think that it'll be fine once I add proper shadows to her dress. We see any of the bottom of that? I don't think so. So I think that's all we see there, and I think that's wrapping around her nicely. Because if you remember from a long time ago, I adjusted the perspective so that we are seeing her very, very slightly from above. It's a subtle effect. Very, very subtle. But it does inform some of the other decisions that I make, and that's going to put that up here as opposed to, like, down here, for example. If we were seeing her from below, we'd see a little bit more inside there. But since we're seeing her from above, less inside there. Just minor perspective things. Okay, I will go ahead and just add a little bit of shading, just to kind of help me see how it's all sitting on her. So I think it's going to be something like this. They're going to be very, very thick folds. Very large, and there's not going to be very many of them. That's how just super thick cloth generally works. They tend to be large folds and very, very, very few. Whereas when you have more tight clothing, they tend to be very small folds, but there's a lot of them. You can, you know, verify this yourself. Just go look at some Google images real quick. You can see generally what it looks like. It's all very interesting to me. Okay, so I think that's the general idea for the coat, and do I want to put the fluff on it? Will it just feel wrong without the fluff? Honestly, yes. Let's put in a little bit of the coat fluff. So I'm gonna hide her head again, and this is the blue I'm using. Is that really the right blue? I don't think it is. Yeah, it should be a little bit darker than that. I guess this was supposed to be white, not blue. Which makes sense. Do I want it to be blue or do I want it to be white? I'd like to incorporate this blue in a few places, but... no, for this, I do think it makes more sense for it to be white. Okay. You can see I'm trying not to change Pippa's color scheme too much. I do want it to be very much recognizable as her, and I think her color scheme, keeping that in this dress, will help that, even though I'm changing the design quite a bit. Okay. And then right around here, I want to respect that it's folding. So I'm gonna put in the folds in the fluff too. It'll make it a little bit more convincing. And I want it to go all the way up. Like that. So this is gonna be where it like opens up. And when she puts it on, she'll grab like one side here, wrap it around her neck, and then there's gonna be a big pink ribbon going around it. But I'm not gonna draw the ribbon just yet, I don't think. I might. I guess it actually is a little bit important to the silhouette, so maybe I will. Let's get the fluff on. I think I want a slight fold there, so I'm going to kind of lift this up just a little. Okay, and then on the back, for now, I'll keep it all on the same layer. Just because the back there is not going to get as detailed. I might change my mind later, but I just want to make sure the fluff is there. If I'm going to put it in the front, it needs to be in the back too. I'm not going to shade everything super strongly yet. I'm just going to put in the basic shadows for where I feel like the, let's see, maybe this one? No, I see why I picked a different color here. Okay. But yeah, I'm just going to put in some shadows for where the thickest folds are. It's just going to be kind of like that. And then maybe I'll just plop a little around the edges just to kind of show how it folds around. But I don't want to go overboard. Keeping things simple. I'm more focused on the overall design. But sure, I'll go ahead and add the ribbon. This is the one ribbon that I already know very much that I know it has to exist. So I'll send it around her neck here. And it'll join up in the middle, and there'll be just like a big old ribbon here. How does it look with her head? Yeah, I didn't think that would work. I need to change the angle of it a little. make it clear that we're seeing it slightly from above and also that her body is like bending down a little. So something like that. And I think it'll be even more clear when I add this, so that it becomes clear that we're kind of seeing a little bit inside of it up at the top there. Does that look a little better with her head now? Not really. Okay, so I'm gonna have to change the design then. I don't think I can make that ribbon work quite like I want. So instead, I'll do a small ribbon. And we'll just put a little guy, like, right here. I think it'll be, like, barely visible. Oh, no, it really isn't. It's all covered by hair. Okay, well, that's fine then. It doesn't show at all. A little bit. Okay. A little bit. So I'll just make it shadow there, and I'll go ahead and leave it. I think it's okay. I really do wish this ribbon was a little bit more visible against her hair. Naturally, as the artist, that's something I can change. Okay, I'm gonna worry about that a little bit later. I think I just want to focus on the general design right now, and try to avoid getting distracted by literally everything. It's very easy to get distracted by literally everything. Okay. But yeah, that coat, basically the way I want it. And then, I'm gonna hide the snowman again. Let's see, I'm gonna take these two layers. I want to show the wrists a little bit. So I'm gonna make it just a little bit shorter here. Because what I think I'd like to do is have some like little puffy sleeves coming out. And actually, while I'm at it, I'm gonna hide the animals for a moment. Just so this way I can see this hand and her shoulders. So things might look a little funny for a little bit. That's fine. It'll get better. Everything always gets better. All right. I'm just adjusting the shoulders just a little bit here. I just realized that I didn't quite like it. Tends to be how it goes. It's okay. Everyone has their art nemesis. And for me, it is arms. Okay. So let's see. For the dress here, like I said, I was thinking about some puffy sleeves. I believe I have the mittens below that layer, which is perfect. I'm gonna erase some of this excess here. Okay. And I just want these sleeves. Actually, I should definitely pull the color from the swatch. There we go. I want them to wrap around the wrist here and then kind of poof out. So it'll be something like this. It's kind of melding together with the ribbon on the mittens right now. So I'll hide them for just a second. And that's not doing what I want. Let's try that again. That needs to be tight. Up to the wrist. And then it poofs. And then it gets frilly. Hello there, Slayer. Welcome back. And thank you. Get to do design today. I do like drawing clothes. I think it's a good time. Okay, and this is small enough that I think I'm just gonna put the part that we see a little bit, but the behind of just right there. I don't actually think we see any of that side. We definitely do up there, but I don't think we do on the other side. So I'll just let that poof out a little and add some shadows there to make it clear that it is frilly. And then I'll do the same on the other side. Kind of get it around the wrist here. A little bit tight right through there. And then poof. So much poof. This might be somewhat incompatible with pink ribbons. If it is, I'll just make the ribbons a different color or something, because I do think I like the poofy design here. And then I think I'm just going to use the coat floof layer, because I do think I want a layer of floof around the edge here. Everything must be fluffy. It is a winter outfit after all. Just a little bit of floof there, and then I think I can bring the mittens back. In what sense? I mean, she's just playing in the snow. That's not something you need federal agents for. Let's see. You know what might actually be cuter than ribbons here? I'm realizing. Paw prints. I think that might be cuter than ribbons. And then I'll just put the ribbons that I plan to put on the mittens on the sleeve here instead. So I can just put little, like, rabbit paw prints on the mittens. And that, I think, would actually be quite cute. Oh, yeah. That is pretty cute. I approve. Okay, I'm doing that. There we go. And then I can just have some ribbons around the wrists here and get all the, I don't know, ribbony effect that I want. They might be a different color. They were pink before, but if the dress itself is pink, it might make more sense to have different colored ribbons. But I don't think I want to get into ribbon spam just yet. Because you can bet there's going to be ribbon spam on an outfit like this. Okay. Yeah, I think that's good. I want to go ahead and kind of work on the shape of the dress a little bit. Since we're seeing her slightly from above, I don't think I have the corners quite going up high enough here. So I'm going to bring this part down a little, and I'm going to bring the corners up a little. And that should, once again, give a little bit more of the impression that we're seeing her from above. Okay. And here I'm just going to make it a little bit straighter. Just because, again, there's a little bit of a pinch going around the stomach. Because she's leaning forward slightly. So this part of the dress is kind of coming closer to this leg and being pushed against her a little bit. So it's only slight because, I mean, it's just a slight lean. It's not a very extreme lean at all. So I just want to give the slightest impression of the pinch in the stomach and then the stretch on her back. And that's what that's doing. And then I feel like that change made the dress a little bit too A-line as opposed to bell. These are different ways a dress can be shaped. I can do a quick explanation. A-line, your dress looks like a triangle. Bell, your dress looks like a bell. It's easy. Hello there, cakes. Welcome. Okay. So I just kind of want to put in that slight bell shape impression again. Make it extra marshmallowy. I feel like that's just a requirement with the style of dress. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, right now I'm just kind of designing the dress. Like, half of the layers are off at the moment because I'm just trying to hone in on the design here. But I'm pretty happy with how it's coming out. I'm glad you like it too. Okay. So I kind of want to understand the general structure going on here. I guess I'll put a few shadows right around here just to help me understand, but I'm not going to do too much because I think we actually get a fold going down like that because of the lean. And this one will probably go into like this pleat. And then dresses like this are like super duper, how to say, they're like loose and poofy. So I want to make sure that it has that impression too. So with it being loose, it's actually going to have fewer but larger folds. And the exception is up here near the waist where it all kind of has to compress together, where there will be lots of littler ones. And then it'll all kind of expand out into the larger ones. So this should be a little bit more like this. I don't think I want it to go all the way out to the edge here because this shape at the bottom there, those aren't folds, that's just how the dress is cut. Oh, I see. Sure. So, let's see, 6 out of 100. I'd say that the first thing that I highly recommend for beginners to do is figure out, you know, what you would like to draw. Because I do think that if you really want to learn how to draw, you have to just really like what you do, because art is hard, like extremely hard, and you will get frustrated. But if you can find the thing that you just really like to draw, then I think that's a good first step. So find what makes you happy. Second, go look at other artists and find art you like. Just, you know, any kind of art, it's fine. So for me, I do like, as you might imagine, a lot of anime art, so I use that a lot, but I also like a lot of, like, super ancient art. So stuff from, like, Egyptian hieroglyphics, ancient Incan stuff. I like a lot of the stuff from, like, the native tribes in Indonesia. All that stuff is really cool. So I do some stuff based on that, and I also like silhouettes a lot and space. So that all comes into stuff here. And if you're having trouble finding artists, then looking at nature is also good too. Just finding stuff that you think is really cool in nature. So that's why I mentioned space. Space is fantastic. All right. Yeah, and so I'm trying to think that, but I do think that the first step really is just finding the stuff you like and then getting an understanding of why you want to draw in the first place. Like, for me, it's mostly that when I got started, it's because I wanted to draw my original characters. So I learned how to draw people, mostly. But, you know, now I also really like to just draw entire scenes. So you also see a lot of stuff like this, where I just wanted to draw the nice snowy winter scene and have it be very cute. But unironically, I do think that the best first step for beginners is just figuring out what you like. And then after that, draw lots of pictures. Lots and lots of pictures. It doesn't matter if they're good. Just do your best. And then when you're done, look at the picture and come up with a few things that you don't like about it, but more importantly, come up with a few things that you do like about it. So when you point out the things that you don't like about your picture, in the next picture you draw, you can try to figure out how to address those problems. And that will guide your studying. So that this way, once you start learning your fundamentals and whatnot, you actually know what to study. And you know what problem that you're trying to solve. As opposed to just studying fundamentals because your art teacher told you to, or you think that it's what you have to do. Nah, draw the thing first. Find the things you don't like about it, and then try to figure out how to address that problem. And that will let your... I think that'll be very effective, because then you know why you're studying. You know exactly what you're trying to solve. Okay, I think that's good there. I think that kind of sums up the kind of folds I want in the dress here. All right. Yeah. And you go from there. And I also say that, more importantly, you have to come up with a couple of things that you do like about about the picture you drew. It's not just for self-esteem purposes. You know, the self-esteem is good and all, but I don't think it's the end-all be-all of things, and its real purpose is so that this way you can actually, like, find the things that you did well and that you want to keep doing, and keep doing that in your next picture. As opposed to just focusing on the things that you want to fix. Because, no, you gotta keep doing things in the next picture, too. I'm pretty sure most of the stuff you just wrote will be nonsense to you as a beginner. Literally, I'd just start with drawing lots of pictures. I don't even think you... I honestly, unironically, do not think beginners should, like, study fundamentals that hard. I really don't. That, I think, comes a little bit later. Like, you said you were on day 6. If you were closer to, like, day 30 to 60, I'd say, yeah, maybe studying fundamentals is fine. And the fact that anatomy is on there, anatomy is not necessary for beginners at all. I do not have a Pinterest account. I might get one someday, but right now I do not. But yeah, I think anatomy in particular is one of those things that everybody says beginners should study, but it is absolutely worthless for beginners. Study your basic proportions. That you can do with like a 10-minute cheat sheet and just reference it occasionally. But, knowing like muscle groups and that kind of thing, no, that's not a beginner subject. That is not important at all. But literally, I do think that the most important thing, figure out what you like to draw. Figure out what you like to draw. So try drawing lots of different things and find things that you think are fun. And make sure that you are very well connected to why you wanted to learn how to draw in the first place, because learning to draw is really hard and really frustrating. So you got to make sure that you like what you're doing, otherwise you're going to quit. And number 2, figure out what kind of art you like. What do you like to look at? What are some of your favorite artists? What kind of things from nature and stuff inspires you and you think looks really cool? And then from there, draw pictures. Don't reference tutorials. It doesn't matter. Just draw what you want to draw and look at it and find things that you like about it and things that you don't like about it. Then keep doing the things that you like and try to understand why you don't like the things that you don't like. And, you know, if nothing comes to mind and you're not really sure, that's the time to look at tutorials. And if you don't know how to fix the things that you don't like, that's the time to look at tutorials. But I do think you have to draw things first. Otherwise, you're going to have no idea what the tutorials are talking about, and you're just going to copy what they do, like a toddler copies their parents, and it's not going to be helpful for actually learning how to art. Let's see, I think this dress is a little bit longer than I want. I'm going to make it just a little bit shorter here. So that is my opinion on how beginners should learn to draw. Just always draw things first. Figure out what makes you happy. And that way, while you are learning on how to draw the things that you want, you can keep that very close to your heart. And have a good understanding of why you're drawing. Hehe. Bah, lots of artists were men. Most of the famous painters of ye old history were men. What are they even talking about? You couldn't even be a woman and get into the French academic painting in like the 19th century. Women weren't allowed. Oh, yes. Go draw all the things. It's fantastic. Very fun thing to get into, in my opinion. And always hold on with all your heart of why you wanted to learn how to draw. I will never stop drawing anime girls. Really, I should probably draw my OCs more often, but you know what? I've been having fun drawing VTubers. I think I'd like to do more clothing design for them, just drawing them in original outfits like this. I think that sounds like a pretty good time. It does. Okay, and that's fine. I think this is probably enough information for the current structure of the dress here. There will be a bunch of ribbons on it, but I think I'm going to go down to her shoes. I'm going to go ahead and turn the snowman back on because I'm pretty sure I only have to draw one shoe here. Yeah, this foot, it's got to be covered by snowman and bunny, so I'm not going to worry about it. I already had a general idea of what I wanted for shoes here, but let's get it structural and nice now. So let's see, I have a general idea for the foot here. Let's see, how are you sitting on the ground? So I know I wanted the soles to be pink. So I'll go ahead and draw it like this for now. And I'll put a slight heel on it. And I don't have like a proper foot drawn or anything here, so I'm not going to be beholden to wrapping this around the foot. I'm just kind of making it up as I go. It's fine. Yeah, I mean, you know, just go do the thing. It's a good time. Then I think I want the boot to go about this high. Kind of trace over what I got here. And it will be fluffy. I'm not going to be overly focused on the fluff just yet. I'm just kind of getting all my basic shapes in and all the structure. Always structure before details, otherwise it will not come out very good. So I'm paying attention to the shape of her toes, where her foot will be sitting and all that good stuff. Hello there, Blood Bullet. Welcome back. So her heel is actually going to be like right here at the top of this like high-heeled part. So it's going to be kind of like that. All right, well, thank you very much. And I wish you luck on your art journey. Have a great time. It's a great time learning all this. And you know, my day so far has been pretty all right. So far, so good. I think she's looking pretty okay. Now, the question I have to ask myself. Should I try to make this look rabbit paw adjacent? At the minimum, I do want to make sure it's fluffy, so I'm going to add a little bits of hint of fluff here just to make me happy. I think I have enough structure that I can let myself do. Okay, that's good for now. Let's see here. I should name these layers, but I can't be bothered right now. I definitely want a nice little fluffy part up at the top here, and then kind of going down into this. This will be where, like, the shoelaces and stuff are. I don't know if I'm going to have shoelaces or a zipper, but I want something going down the middle like this. The angle of this is a little bit wonky, but I think the design is okay. And yeah, that's why I say, just draw many a thing. And always make sure that you hold why you wanted to learn how to draw close to your heart. Because it can be easy to forget while you get caught up in the improvement grind. The improvement grind honestly sucks. I don't know, I know some people get a lot of satisfaction out of getting better at things. I do too, but I don't know, man. I do think it is important to hold on to why you wanted to learn how to draw in the first place. I don't know, I kind of want her foot pointing more toward the deer that's hidden right now, though. Okay. I'm gonna point it a little bit more toward the side. I'm just gonna massage all this with the liquefy tool until perspective cooperates. Okay, let me see. What's that gonna do to the toes? Something like this. Should get a little bit wider over there. We see a little bit less of the back of the heel here, so I'm gonna make this thinner. And then this I want to kind of recede into the background a bit. Now I just need to get her foot actually like on the ground. I can see the ground in my mind's eye. It's hidden right now, don't worry about it. I'm never sure how to answer that question because I drew off and on for a long time. It's like... I started learning probably something like 20 years ago, but I really only started taking it really seriously in the past 3, where I was like, you know, drawing every day and actually doing things. So, there you go. I was very off and on with it for a while. Okay, how's that? Is that better than what I had before? Okay, I'm gonna hide the foreground just so Krita stops having an aneurysm over my blur layer. Oh shoot, I shouldn't have done that. Whoops. Okay, well, that means I have to fix it again, but that's fine. But yeah, Krita is still having a slight aneurysm over my blur layer, it's fine. I'll just hide it for a little while. We'll live without the foreground and just let things look a little weird. And now I'll try to get her foot back on the ground. The reason I said that I shouldn't do that is because I accidentally... I accidentally overwrote the little... The change I just made. No, I'm definitely doing this the wrong way. Let me try that again. Because when you go back in your history timeline and then make a change, it gets rid of everything further in history. So, whoops. That's all right. I've been able to mostly make out what you're saying. Don't worry about it. As long as I can understand, you know, there's nothing wrong. Let's see, I just want to see a little bit more of the side of the foot here. It's hard because I'm trying to put in a heel and it does not wish to cooperate with me. But I think that's okay-ish. Probably sufficient for now. I think the foot is the right size. We got decent toes there. I'm not quite satisfied with this part and how it's going up on what is supposed to be like a little bit of a high heel. So I will adjust that. And then I think we see a little bit less of the heel here. Okay, and here, this might actually just be easier to draw rather than pad with liquify. I want it to be like flat at the bottom. I don't think I want the sole to be quite that thick, so I'm gonna go over it again with this yellow part. Get a little bit more toe in there. And there we go. I want the toes to look a little nicer there. And I think that's... yeah, that's pointing a little bit more toward where the deer is. You can't see him right now, but he's there, and I can see him in my mind's eye, so it's okay. Highly variable. Depends on the level of detail. This is gonna take a while, because, you know, I've got all this stuff going on in the background. I'm also drawing it live, which slows me down. There's a lot of stuff going on here. I have like half of it hidden at the moment, just so I can focus on Pippa herself here. This one will take a while. And then there's some that, you know, I can do in a day because it's simple, often with silhouettes where I don't draw a face. Just not necessarily a lot going on. And those I can draw pretty fast. And then there's stuff like the picture of Melis Evermore I'm doing on Wednesday and a Sunday, where the detail is less, but I'm trying a bunch of new things in it, so it's taking a while. And yeah, there's lots of variables. I am definitely on the slow side. I draw pretty slowly. So I don't really know how to answer that question. But it's pretty rare that if I'm doing anything even remotely serious that I spend less than a week on it. You know, working on it for a couple of hours every day. So I'd say even on the low end, I'm expecting like a minimum of like 8-10 hours. And if I'm just derping around or just doing speed paints, then yeah, I can finish that in a couple of hours, it's fine. But the quality is very different. just depends on what you're doing. Okay. Let's see. I think... yeah, that's good for just the basic design here. I think that proportions still look accurate. Pose is still doing what I want. All of the elements are there now. What are you in the back there? Okay, you're just a little bit of extra coat back when I was experimenting there. Okay. Alright, so I think I'm going to add the next layer of details now. And for that, I'm going to start with the bunny shapes on the base of the dress here. How many art CDs do I have? I'm not sure what you're referring to. I have not bought any, like, music or movies related to art or anything. I just draw stuff. Alright, so let's get those bunny shapes that I had planned. I'm gonna hide the snowman again. Just to make sure that I know where these things are going. Okay, this tells me that this side is not equal in width there, and actually that this part probably doesn't go all the way up. So basically the plan is that at the highest and the lowest points, I'm putting a little bunny shape. So I got a high point up there, which I actually think is a little further back, so I'm going to make this one a little bit smaller here. Understandable. I'm always surprised at the variety of time zones that I get here. But don't worry, sleep is important. And if you're ever curious, you could always watch the VOD in the future. I always leave my VODs up there, so it'll be there to watch anytime. Alright, so I wanted little bunny shapes at like the highest and lowest points here. So let's see, this one is going to be kind of thin. I do think there's a highest point near here, but it's not... but it's like over here on the other side. So we only see like a small fraction of this. So it'll be kind of like that. And then we got the one in here. And then there's going to be little bunny ears and it'll be cute. All right. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you're able to sleep well. Enjoy your art journey. It's difficult, but it's a good time. I think that's true of most things in life. The hardest things are the most worthwhile. So I want to make sure there's cute little bunny ears here. Oh yeah, very cute. Very cute. And no problem. Happy to be here, always. Not worried about making any of this smooth yet. It's all gonna be fluffy later. I just need to get it down. And I want the snowman on just so I know which parts are covered. So yeah, pretty much everything over here. I'm not gonna draw her other shoe or anything. I don't really feel like I need to. And I'm not gonna put further details on this yet. So I think the next step is gonna be the big ribbons that I plan to put on the base of the dress. So let's get those on. Yeah, that'll be that layer and this layer. I'm just going to clear everything here. That it's kind of in the way. So this ribbon is going to kind of come up here. They're just going to sit on top there. And the other half is going to be like folded way back there. So you can see it's kind of going into the background a bit. I'm going to draw the little center point. And then a big old ribbon here. And I'm pretty sure a lot of this is not in proper proportion yet, but I am still just mostly focused on the design. I will worry about getting everything in like the exact right location and all that stuff a little bit later. I'm gonna hide the snowman again just to make sure I have all these ribbons in the right spot. It's a little bit of extra drawing, but it's fine. It'll save me some grief in the long run. So here, the backside is going to be like way over there, so I think we only see like a small portion of this ribbon. Pretty sure this one's going to be mostly hidden anyway, so I'm not going to worry that much about it. But I just want to know which parts are sticking out and which parts are not. And then I still want little pom-poms on them. Hello there, Tavak, and thank you. I am very excited to finish this one. Yes, I am very excited. I hope Pippa likes it. I don't think I don't see very much fan art with her just being, you know, happy and cute with nice little animal friends, even though she really, really loves animals. So I am happy to provide. I want a little bit of movement going on in these dangly parts of the ribbon. I probably actually want some in the bunny shapes there as well. I should fix that. I will do so real quick, since all of this is rough anyway. I just realized. Probably want these guys to be, like, floofing out this way just a little. Just a little. Okay. But there we go. We'll get a little bit of movement in all of the ribbons and stuff. What are you? Okay, yeah. This is the layer. And I don't want him going too hard. Like, I'm not making him move quite as much as her hair. I probably could, but I'm not. I just want there to be enough to make it look like she's moving a little and that there's a nice breeze running through here. Even this feels like a little bit too much, because this is a little bit heavier than, like, hair. So I'm gonna tone it down just a tad. There we go. Okay. And then I have... I want to make it look like there's some ribbons just running through the base here. So some of them will be overlapping the big ribbons, some of them will not be. I better hide the snowman again. I just keep bringing it back because otherwise I will fixate on things and I don't want to do that. Okay. So there we go. I think that's good. Fortunately, it really does look like I had most of the design down well. So at this point, it's just a matter of getting those big things back in. Whew. Okay, next. Okay, so this is more dress pattern stuff. I don't really need this yet, so I'll keep it hidden. Let's get the buttons on the dress next. So I had like a little fluffy part that was gonna run down the middle. For that, I will hide the coat momentarily. Just so that this way I know where to draw it. And actually her head is kind of in the way too. So we'll cut that off for a moment. I don't need it right now. She'll get it back a little bit later. It's fine. And I just want this little fluffy part that's going to be holding the buttons on her dress to to run all the way down like this. This will give a good idea of like where her chest is and that she's leaning forward and turning slightly that way and all that stuff. Buttons are useful for that. Extremely. And then just little buttons running all the way up. Actually, I should use the shadow color for this, because they're probably going to be mostly in shadow. And it'll make it a little easier for me to understand. And then I'm going to give them little bunny ears, because of course I am. What else would I do here? It's like just asking for it with this design. Okay. Now I can give her her coat and her head back. Alright. Next. Let's see, I had a little pattern running across there. I think this is a good time to add it back, but I'm going to do it on a new layer. So it was going to be yellow, and it's going to, like, run over the folds and stuff. I will even clip it onto the dress here. I'm not going to let it follow the folds too closely right now. I'm just going to... plop a general thing down. Just because I'm probably going to change a lot of those folds. But I want to make it clear to my future self that it does indeed run across the dress. And actually, you know, before I even do that much, I want to get the thickness and location right. So it should be doing something like that. I'm trying to do too many things at once again. And I need to not. Okay. Let's see. I better hide the snowman again, just to get an idea of how this wraps around her, because I think this side might be a little bit too high up. And I better bring it down just a little. Yeah, I definitely needed to do this work first before I worry about, like, the exact shape of things. And then I can just kinda add and erase based on where folds are, so I think it will go up a little bit over here, for example. And we'll get a little shape like this, and then it'll come down a little bit over here. And we'll get a little shape like this, and this is how I can handle all the folds. And they'll look better in the end. This is quick and dirty, and it's fine. It'll be better later. There we go. That's sufficient for now, and there will be a little bunny pattern on this. I guess I should kind of get it started just so I know the color balance. I might even do that on another layer. Just because I'm scared. Now this is where I have to make a choice. Do I make it pink like I was initially expecting? Or do I make it blue? Let's see what blue looks like, actually. I will add dress blue to my swatch, because I don't actually have one for that. This isn't blue. This is white. Just because I did want some white spots in there. Okay. So now I can make that choice. Do I want it to be blue? Or do I want it to be pink? Again, I'll let all this fold against everything a little bit better later. It's fine for now. Little bunny ears. And it'll be firmly in the yellow part. This is quick and dirty, and they're also way too fat, but it's fine. Okay, yeah, it's gotta be pink. Pink is gonna be way better here. Most certainly. But I can add little blue parts for, like, the X'd out eyes, because I do think that is a requirement here. That is one element of Pippa's design that I just do not want to get rid of. Little bunnies with X'd out eyes. I just think it's very her. Okay. So that's good there, and I'm gonna do the same, like, down here eventually, and on this. Okay. And you know what? I actually think I want these to be just a little bit higher up. Okay. And now, frill. So I think I still like the idea of just little frills just around the waist. It's a common element in this kind of dress. This kind of fashion aesthetic. So I think I like it, and then I like the idea of little frills just against this part too. I will draw them more nicely later. Right now, I just want the design element in there so I can see it. Okay. Do I feel like I need more stuff? Do I want more frill, just like going up here? Unironically, yes. This is fantastic. I like it. Okay. There we go. Then what about, like, I don't know, a few additional ribbons and whatnot? I don't know, how do I feel about some, like, extra blue ribbons just... Let's see, where am I doing the ribbons anyway? Right here? Yeah, that's where I'm doing some ribbons. Do I want some, like, little blue ribbons up here, too? Oh, heck yeah. We're gonna make her, like, extra marshmallowy here. Let's do it. I feel like it's not Sweet Lolita unless it's a little bit tacky. You gotta go all out with just all the things. So yeah, there'll be a bunch of little ribbons up at the top there. Frills at the bottom, ribbons on the top. It's very silly. But I think it's perfect. And then I don't know, do I want some, like, ruffles or something over there? Yes, but they can't be blue. Let's go back to the frill layer, and I'll add even more frill. Are you the frill layer? You know, I should call you something other than dress something, just so I can actually read what's on there. Okay. The names of my layers are too long, and I do not know what they are, what is in them. Anyway, we're gonna have little baby frills running around the waist there. Honestly, they look kind of like ribs, and I dig it. Okay. I'm very easily amused today. Alright. So, I'm gonna go put another couple of ribbons on the shoe, because I think the shoes need ribbons too. So I'm gonna have one kind of wrapping around the top here, and we'll just ribbon. We'll pretend like this is like shoelaces or something. Except it's ribbon. And then ribbon. And then ribbon on the toe. Yes. I think that's sufficient ribbon for there. And I think that's a sufficient level of detail for everything, so I can actually, like, start smoothing all this out now. And you know, I don't even feel like I need to have any patterns on the tights. We'll just let the tights be basic. Because otherwise, I swear, it will just be too much. I know I just said that it's supposed to be too much, but I have my limits. Alright, let's go. I'll go do the X'd out eyes here. And then I'm gonna go turn all the layers back on. And before I render much more of Pippa here, I got to render some animals, because there are some animals that are covering part of her. And I also kind of want to do large parts of the snowman. Where's my... I'm just going to get rid of dress in all of these so that this way I can actually read. Okay, yeah, that's that. Okay, you should actually be underneath this. And here we are. It's this one, right? Yeah, I just noticed that it was overlapping the sleeve and it was driving me slightly crazy. Okay. But yes, I think I like this design. Oh, I just have to decide if I want to put anything else on the coat. I don't know. Maybe I should just leave the coat simple. It's very tempting. But like I said, I kind of feel obligated to make it at least a little bit extra. I feel like it comes with the aesthetic. So you know what? I know exactly what to do. Ribbons. We put ribbons on it. That's just what you do. Big ribbons. And I'll put, like, some smaller ones going up. Okay, her head is in the way. So I'm going to take that away real quick and plop in the ribbons that I think should exist here. I'm going to make them a little smaller as they go up. So this way, you know, once they're up here, they're really tiny. And will be cute, I guess. And let's see, the big one is like at the end here, so right there. And I'll just plop a little ribbon here. I think this one actually needs to be rotated a little bit. There we go. Just like that. I think I could be happy with that. Okay, and we got big ribbon there. Another one like right here. Something like that. I don't know. That seems fine. And then there'll be more going around the side here and just all over the place. No, not there. Like right here. I think that's sufficient. I thought about maybe putting some patterns or something on there, but no, I think the ribbons make it enough. I think it's probably about all I can take. Alright, I should get the rest of her hair on as well. Let's see, the back hair, I'm just gonna paint in hair shadow color for now, just so I can actually see it. And I'm gonna send it a little further this way. And I will let it blow in the wind here. I'm not going to make the mistake again where I forget to let it flutter. And then I have to pull shenanigans to add it later. No, thank you. I'll just do it now. The braids I already kind of got in. They're just not very braid-like at the moment, but it's fine for now. I just gotta center them on her head correctly here. Okay. Let's see. Alright, I think that's just her basics in there. I say basics like anything about this is basic, but... There we go, let's get the animals on, and I'll even turn on the foreground and see if Krita barfs. I just want to look at the composition again. Okay, so far so good. So I think the parts that I want to draw before I go and fully render her here is I want to get the snowman in, and I want to get this hat in, and this bird in. Because those are the things that are on top of her. And there are some animals on top of the snowman here, so I will probably just do all those animals first. And then we can get into perfecting her, but I'm feeling pretty confident with the overall design here. Proportions feel fine, her pose feels fine, it feels like it's all there, and I think it's a decently cute design. It's a little bit out of my usual wheelhouse. I don't normally go for a full marshmallow aesthetic. Typically, if I do something like Lolita adjacent, it's a little bit more the elegant side rather than the saturine cute side. But I think this is fine. If anything, it's just these ribbons that I'm not quite sure about. I might revisit that, but everything else, I like the balance on the dress here, so I think that's kind of the important part. What does it look like without all the extra ribbons? The coat, that is. Just something a little simpler to balance out the complexities. Honestly, I think it's good with some ribbons, but maybe I just keep the big ones at the corner. And the one around her neck. And I just make the ones here just a little bit bigger. Or, you know, a lot bigger. It's fine. It's a little bit by some definition. Maybe not that big, but yeah. I think I like that a little better. Okay, yeah, I like this better. So just at the corners, there's a big old ribbon. It still feels cute, but it feels a little bit less busy. Okay. See, this is why I kind of wanted to make sure I had the design largely finished today, so that this way I could sit on it for a day and come back to it next time and be like, hey, do I still like this? But no, I think this is going to be good for now. Alright, let's draw a bird. Kind of want to start with the bird on her shoulder here. And the main reason that I'm doing a lot of these things first is I just like to work foreground to background. I do like to do my focal points first, which is why her face is done. But everything else, I like to get the stuff in front done so that this way I know when it's on top of something that I can ignore whatever's underneath it. So like I know that over here, once the snowman is done, I won't have to worry about this part of her dress, for example, or this foot, this leg back here. So I don't have to draw anything there, and I can trust it. Saves me a little bit of work and stops me from fixating on silly things. The perfectionism is real sometimes, and working in this way just stops me from just getting stuck on something that I don't really need to be getting stuck on. Okay. Bird. Yeah, bird. I was thinking about whether or not I wanted to do some lighting on Pippa right now, but nah, bird. Gotta do bird. I think the basic silhouette is mostly fine. I do have some pictures of this bird somewhere, but I'm probably only gonna kind of look at them. I know that they have these silly little feathers kind of coming up here like this. They're very funny looking. I think most birds are kind of funny looking though, so. All right, and we'll just let him be perched very comfortably back there and have some nice little tail feathers coming out here. And I'll add in his little wings. They're gonna come out like that. Like if I were to draw them now, you know, just kind of wrapped up against the body. I think it'll be shaped kind of like this. But I'm gonna do that via shading. And it's fine if the animals are not especially realistic or anything. This being anime aside, I want to do what I can to just make them, like, extra adorable. And I think that makes making them a little bit squishier than they would otherwise be, with bigger heads. Bird head, not normally this big, but I think it is quite cute. So, this bird gets to have a large head. You know what? I should look at birds. I just want to see what their feathers look like. So, like, do I do something... feather... like, do I make them fluffy? Like... do I make them fluffy, or do I... do something a little bit different? Like, how do I shade... Fluffy bird? Not fluffy bird, but bird, just in general. Actually, you know what? I kind of like the way this one looks better. Okay, so I just found this picture of a bird with really pretty black wings and tail feathers, and the rest of it is red. And so that is different from the one that I was initially planning, but I think I like this one better. So I'm gonna draw this bird. So that means it won't have the black face, it'll just be red, but it will have, like, black tail feathers and stuff. So let me just get the general silhouette of this bird in. Their face kind of goes back a lot. Like I said, not going for extreme accuracy here, but given that Pippa knows stuff about birds, I kind of want to make it clear that I am referencing a real bird here. Like, it's not gonna especially look like the bird, but I want to have some of its key features. I noticed that it has a very long beak. It's a little curved. On the top and the bottom, actually. And its little face kind of goes back like that. Let's see. I think I'm going to use this for the black. Is that dark enough? A little bit too purple. Okay. No, I'll use the real black that I've been using. This here. So they got very round, beady eyes. So I'll just give them a cute little round eye here. It's going to be big, because of course it is. It's anime. And then it's got little wings. And they kind of go across like this. And they are very, very chubby. Makes me wonder how those little tiny wings are able to keep them up. Okay, the wing is a little bit longer than its body when it's all curled up like this. Okay, and it's got little thin black tail feathers. Kind of like that. And they do, in fact, go into red like this. So that is actually, like, correct. And I am saying like too much today. It's fine. There we go. So that kind of thing. This is probably fine. It's near her face, so I will be giving it a little bit of extra attention. And let's see, their beaks aren't actually black, but this one's gonna be black. Just because I don't want to use a bunch of extra colors on it. That is one derpy looking bird. I approve. Okay, I'm gonna let this feather extend out a little bit, just so it's not all tangenting with the rest of the body here. There we go. I think that's good. And we'll bring in its little... I want to bring out its little chest. Like I said, these were chubby little guys. So I'm going to make him a chubby little guy. Alright. And then we got some feathers kind of coming out the back of its head like this. It kind of blends in with the body, but I like where the body's sitting, so I'm just going to do it like this instead. Okay, and I think that's pretty cute. So I think rather than doing a bunch of normal shading here, I'm just going to grab my purple and set my brush to multiply. Yeah, I'll do it with the basic hard round first, and then I'll go in and kind of blend the colors together. So there's going to be some little shadows. Oh, somehow I switched layers. I guess these things happen sometimes. Okay. So I'll just do it like that. And now I have colors, so I can draw a little bit more normally. I'll put a little bit of shadow under the neck here and kind of in the feathers. I think I want a slightly darker color here too. Yeah, I'm gonna get my purple again. So I'll put a little bit of a darker color here. This entire spot will just be a little bit darker. And then I will put in some darker shades throughout there. And I will blend all this together at some point. Oh, right. My brush is still set to multiply. I don't need it set to multiply anymore. Okay. And then how do you look? I think I can make it just look kind of fluffy again. So it might make it look a little bit more like fur. But I think that's actually okay here, and the last thing that I really want to do is plop in some highlights. This time I'm doing it first instead of waiting for later. And the beak will get an extra highlight at the end to make it shiny because it's hard. And I do see a clear little specular highlight on it in my reference, so I will put that in. Let's get some light on its little cheeks and its little chest. And I'll put a little bit on its little wings here. Okay, so something like that. And now I will get the fluffy brush to make things fluffy. Fluffy brush. Fluff it out. I'm glad that I can just, you know, do almost a standard fur to make it fluffy. Even though it's feathers this time instead of fur, but it kind of works out to looking very similar. Since some of the feathers on this bird are kind of like downy. So, works for me. I already know how to draw that, so I get to have an easy time. There we go. Just gonna kind of blend everything here. We'll add a little bit more floof out the back there, because that's just kind of what their heads look like to me. Okay. Blend these tail feathers together a little bit better. And then I kind of fluff them out at the end. I'm being a little bit more careful there because there's less feathers, so it's a little bit less down-like. And it does have a giant head. I'll see how I feel about it later, but this is fine for now. I guess I can check it real quick, but I think it's okay. Maybe it's a little bit big. Okay, I'll make it a little bit smaller. Just a little. This will show a little bit more of her earmuffs too, so you know what? That's fine. That works for me. We'll just have a cute little chubby guy just sitting there. Being cute and chubby. Okay. So now we'll go back to just making all this look a little bit fluffier. All his little fluffy feathers. And I'm just, you know, being very delicate with my touch here. Not forcing anything. And I'm just gradually blending the colors in a little. This is why I said that, you know, all that stuff I was doing with the hard brush, it's fine. I also don't know if these birds live in the mountains, but they look really cool, so I guess they do now. At least in this universe. Okay. Yeah, I think that's fine. Let's go ahead and add a couple of little speculars. I'm just gonna grab it from here. Put a little specular on his little eye here and on his little beak. And there we go. I think that's fine. That's a cute little bird. Alright. So, let's see. I get the feeling that the next couple of streams are gonna be animals. Well, no, that's not true. I think there aren't that many animals. I could probably finish most of them this stream and next stream. Okay, cool. I'm worrying too much. Anyway, how do I want to do this? I'm gonna get the little bunny up on top of the snowman next, I think. This little guy up here. And let's see, how do I want to do this? Okay. So basically, this bunny and this deer are both holding little things that are gonna go in the snowman. So this guy's holding one of the eyes, this guy's holding one of the buttons there, and I don't know what this guy's doing, but he's having a good time. Okay, and yeah, so I think that, yeah, these are the three on the snowman, and this one's holding the hat that her hand is going to be overlapping, so I'll go ahead and draw him too. And I'll handle the rest a little bit later, and I'll see if I want to add some more. I almost feel like it's a little bit sparse on animals, so I might add a few more at some point. But I think these are the important ones. So let's just get those done here. Alright, little bunny. You know what? I'm gonna make you the same color as Pippa's eyelashes. You're almost the same color anyway. And this means I have a dark color picked and I don't have to think too hard about it. So, first things first, I don't want it to be sharing an outline with the snowman, so this ear, well, very cute, is gonna come off of it a little bit. It's still very cute, so it's fine. It's just gonna come off the snowman a bit. It'll make it a little bit more clear. And it won't make it look like they're just sharing an edge. And, because that kind of thing can drive me kind of nuts. And then this ear will kind of come off this way. I don't want it to share a line with that eye there, so I'm gonna bend it like more right here. Just so it's kind of going its own way and still has that cute little floppy effect. Okay, I'm gonna get this a little bit more attached to its head now. So the head is kind of doing something like this. I'm just gonna plop in a couple of little shadows to help me see. kind of want it to roll this way, actually, as opposed to the other direction that I had it. There we go. Okay. Looks nice. I like it a lot. Okay. So there we go. Still looks like it's just folding down the snowman. This is going to be where it's like little legs are going, so let's separate that out from the rest of the body. And we'll let him have a little leg just right here. I think I'm just going to draw out the shadow color, actually. He'll have a little foot just hanging out right there. The other one's over here. We don't see it. And then this is the body here. This is a little back foot. So it'll be kind of like this. And then his little tail. Up out there. Okay. So I think that's roughly how I want to handle shades and stuff. Let's go get just final details in here. So, and then I'll clean up the edges just a little. I don't think I have to be particular about them just because we're going to make him very fluffy. And that's going to change a lot of shapes. But I think it's already looking pretty cute. So I think we're good there. I'll go ahead and lock the layer just so I can freely add kind of my last little bit of shade in here. Okay, and I'll go ahead and put the highlights on. Once again, I'm just going to use this, and I'm going to blob it on with my airbrush. So I think that this part of like his back is going to be very bright. And I'll dab, just hopefully make it a little on the fluffy side for now. There's going to be a little bit of a dark spot right here. And a bright spot over on the side of the head here. And then this whole ear is just going to be like very bright, especially on this part. Over here a little bit less so. It's not going to be shadowed though. I should get the right color. There we go. Let's just make it nice and bright. I don't think we really get any light over here. I do think we probably get just a tiny bit on this leg, but not very much. And a tiny bit on the tail, but again, not very much. Okay. Let's make him fluffy. Gotta make all the animals nice and fluffy. Okay. Here we go. Fluffing time. Oh man, look at that. It's just like instant fluffiness and it just instantly becomes like 100 times cuter. I put that for the wrong direction, but it's fine. I'll fix it. Just gotta hit Control Z a little bit. There we go. That's better. And then we'll let this part kind of extend on top. This is all shade from the ear. So you can make the ear nice and fluffy. Oh man. Look at how fluffy it is. Look, I swear every time I draw something fluffy, I cannot stop gushing about how cute and fluffy it is. Can't help it. It's too fluffy. It just turns your brain into pure mush when you see something fluffy. Just look at what happens when you see a cat. All you can think about is, oh, kitty! Oh, man. So I'm just gonna keep fluffing up this ear until I'm happy with it. And, you know, then I can do the rest of its little head. And the other little ear. And I'll draw its little face on after. God, I love this bunny already. It's so cute. It's so cute. Look at him. Look at him. He's got such a soft-looking little face. Okay, let's get the shadows in now. Okay, and I want to kind of push the shadows back a little. I think they look a little bit better when I do it with the airbrush, so I'll start doing that again. And then I can fluff it out, you know, as usual, just with slightly more success, I think. But this doesn't look bad enough to make me want to redo it, so it's just notes for the future. And I'm gonna let some of the snow kind of come up into the bunny's tummy there. Honestly, I should go find images of Pippa's rabbits, because I know she has a few. I saw sheet metal the other day, but I don't actually know what her other ones look like. I'm kind of tempted to change this one up a little bit to look more like sheet metal, but... I'm not sure about the others. Fortunately, it's pretty easy to change the color of things with digital art, so if I decide I want to go out and find her actual bunnies and make a few of these look like her bunnies, then, you know, I can go do so. I actually think that sounds like a really cute idea, so I might go do it. I'm not sure if I can find them in like 30 seconds though, so I think I'm just gonna finish drawing this bunny. And this one's already basically done. But I think I'll take a second to go look after I finish this one. Okay, and then I want a little bit less shadow running through here, so... There we go. Make it look like the ear's a little bit more attached. Always important to definitely want your body parts attached to you. They're more useful that way. Alright, and down here... Okay, and I think he's looking very cute. Let's give him a little face. So we'll have little eyes, one kind of running down here. Kind of getting used to where to place bunny eyes, now that I've done it a couple of times. And I'm feeling bold still, so I'm just going to do it all in the same layer. And I'm still going to give him little eyelashes, because I can. I think it's cute, and I like it. And that's what matters. Okay, and... Gotta give him a little pink nose. It'll be like right there. And then his little mouth is holding this big old piece of coal. I'm probably gonna make it a little bit smaller than that, but... This is fine for now. And then I'll just dab a little bit of shadows on there. I don't think I want to use that one. I think I want to use this one. Just a little bit of shadows on there. I'm going to put a little bit of pink into its eyes. All these rabbits just have little pink eyes. It's fine. They look very scary until I give them the specular highlight, but it's okay. Once it's there, it's very cute. Okay, so there we go. We got another little bunny up there. Just flopping around with those little floppy ears. Let me see if I can find Pippa's rabbits. Unfortunately, I'm just finding pictures of people naming their rabbits after Pippa. Okay, but this is a real one. Nice. Okay, so the one I just drew would actually be very easy to adapt to this one that I just saw. So, all I gotta do is he's got like a little white spot going down the middle of his face. So I think if I just set this to... I'll start with color. I'll grab my white and we'll just do this. And don't worry, I'll make it lighter soon. And then he's got like another white spot going down his back here. And a little white paws. Doing something like that. And then a white spot going down his back. Not that far. More just like this. It's not a great picture, but I think I can get it accurate enough. I'm doing my best here. And then just a little bit of white going down the ear here. And then apparently he always looks a little bit angry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to give him slightly angrier looking eyes. There we go. Just slightly. Alright, then I'm going to erase around the nose there. That should still be pink. And let's get the bottom of the jaw there, because that is also kind of white. It's kind of like this. Just got some brown parts around the eyes here. And I think that's probably recognizable enough. Like, I think she'll know what I'm going for. This part of its ear was just a little bit more white here. Had a little bit of brown surrounding it. And then before I start doing proper color correction and stuff, I'm going to make it fluff. We're going to make it fluffy. I'm going to change the color there. And then I'll do whatever corrections necessary in order to get the colors to match a little bit better. But first, I gotta get this fluff in. It must be fluffy. It is a requirement. Because the main thing is that I just don't want to, you know, get rid of all the shading I just did. That would be a little bit sad. So I'm just gonna try to keep as much of it as I can, while getting this color pattern on there. Okay. This still looks pretty fluffy to me. So I think we're good. So I'm going to bring it back down to color here. Where are you? Okay. So that'll kind of desaturate it. And then what I'm going to do is I duplicate the layer again. And now I can kind of start getting the proper color onto it. I guess addition might be good. And then I just lower the opacity until it's... addition's a little too strong. What about hard light? It'll need some of its own shading, but that looks pretty alright. Okay. Let's see if I can get some good shading on there. So we'll put some like pure white out here. And I'll have to make it fluffy again, but that's fine. I like making things fluffy, so it'll work out. Over here, and then I want like a darker part. Just kind of back here. So this way it's clear where its head ends and where its body begins. And then I just make it fluffy again. But there we go. That has the right pattern now, so once I make it fluffy, I think I can just merge all this together. And I'll have a rabbit that looks a little bit more like one of Pippa's rabbits. And I think that's pretty cute. So I like it a lot. Okay. So this one first, and then this one. Okay. And now it's just all on there, and we have a nice little white and brown rabbit. Okay, can I find another one? I forget how many she has. Okay, so who are you? Who are you? Ah, it didn't actually link me directly to the tweet, huh? I feel like Twitter is one thing here. Okay. Okay, so I see another one that has similar patterns, just with like a little bit of black on its back and around the ears. So I think I'll do that for this white one here. So, kind of a similar process. I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to make a new layer. Clip it, and then I'm going to have a little bit more of a gray here. Like, I think this one is a little bit too dark, but it's close. So I'll start there and just make it a little bit lighter. So we'll have a little bit of the black spot around there. I will set it to color. And it goes up on the ears. I want to make sure that the pink part stays pink. I can't really see on color, so I'll go ahead and just put it to hard light immediately. And around its little nose. Oh no, I don't want to go around its little nose, actually. This rabbit doesn't do that. So, unclear to me if this is one of her rabbits or if she's just posting a cute picture of a rabbit that she had, but, you know, either way. If it's a rabbit she personally found cute, then I think it's worth using as a reference. Just little patches around the eye there. Alright, and then there was a little bit of black on the back too. So I'll go ahead and do that. And I think that this color is a little bit too blue and a little bit too bright. So I'm going to desaturate it a bit, make it a little bit darker. But otherwise, I think it's actually pretty dang close to the color I was going for. So I think this looks okay. I'm going to have to give it a little bit of its own shading again. But I can do that. Let's see, what do I want to do? I think I'll just take directly from here. Plop in a little bit of light on its ears and the side of its face. Oh, I don't have this layer locked. That's bad. Undo, 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 undo. Okay. There. All is well. I was able to get the original color back there. So now I can just plop on light colors however I see fit. We'll hit the side of the face a little, probably a little bit on the top up here and a little bit on the side here. And definitely a little bit on the back there. And I think this guy needs a little bit of shadow too. I'll just steal some from the bird. Just a little on the back side there. And maybe a little bit on the side of the ear here. Okay, now we make it fluffy again. Bring on the fluff. It's pretty hard to have too much fluffiness, so... This is one area where I can afford to overdo things, and it's fine. And honestly, I think the color contrast actually looks pretty good here, too. Bring a little bit more attention to Pippa's face. So, you know what? I'm glad I did this. I think it looks really cute. I'll see if I can find some more. I think it's fine for if all the rabbits don't look like hers. I do want to make some of them look like they're just wild rabbits out there joining in for a fun snowman adventure, but I do like the idea of having a few of these just look like her rabbits. Okay. Yeah, there we go. That's pretty good. So I'll merge that down. I think that looks fantastic. So let's see. What other bunnies can I find here? What other bunnies can I find here? Okay, I don't think those are her bunnies. I'm pretty sure that's someone else taking a picture of a bunny and sending it to them. Okay, so I see a little black rabbit with little white legs, so I think that will be what I do for this guy. And I think this time I'm just gonna do the special colors right away. These guys, I think I'll just leave as they are. I think they're fine. And I'll have one more bunny if I happen to find a good reference over here. And, you know, I can always draw more bunnies if I am so inclined. So, you know, life is good like that. I can do what I want. So, alright, let's get this guy kind of refined a little. Let his little leg come up here. I guess he's twisting a little, you know, that's fine by me. Draw his back leg there, get a little tail in there, and another little back leg over here. Let him derp. I think that's the best way to draw animals, just very derpy. Always look like they're having a good time. I think it's part of what makes them cute. Okay, I'm gonna make his ears nice and big. They'll just stick up and it'll be adorable. Okay, let's round out those edges there, just so it's not quite so sharp. And then I'll attach this to the side of the head a little bit better. I kind of want it to turn a little up at the top there. Okay, that looks fine to me. So, I'm gonna go ahead and lock the layer for now, and I want to get in the white parts. So let me get my white here. Let's see, what kind of patterns you got? There's like a little bit on the front of the face, but we don't see the front of the face. Then I see some white parts like on the little legs here. back legs are black, and then that kind of wraps around his midsection like a belt. So something like that. And let's see, I'm gonna grab the shadow colors just from the bird here. They're pretty close to about the same. Right, and I said that it looked better when I did it with the airbrush, so let's do that, and I'll just blob it on. Make everything nice and fluffy. Okay, and yeah, I'll use this color for the white shadows. There'll be one like here and going up there, over here. Kinda around the back there. I think that's fine. And now I want to grab the yellow for a little bit of light. We'll just plop some on the ears here. I think we get a little bit on this side, and then its little head is going to catch a lot. I'm going to put a little bit in the white there, and a little bit on its little leg. Maybe just a tiny bit on the tail. Okay. There we go. That's a shaded bunny. Let's go make him fluffy. Let's make this guy nice and fluffy. And then this will be the last little bunny for now. So after that, it'll be time to get some deer. I got 2 of the little deer to draw. And you know, at some point, maybe I'll decide to add more animals. I don't know yet. But this does feel like a lot of little animals for now. Oh man, look how fluffy he is. Head empty you. Back to just gushing about fluff. He's so fluffy and so cute. So cute. I gotta draw more cute things sometimes. I've always said when it comes to anime girls, I think I do cool better than cute, but I gotta admit, cute has its own charm. Gotta draw more cute cats. I miss drawing cute cats. I do like drawing cute cats. It's okay, I'm sure at some point I'll have an excuse to draw cute cats. I mean, cat girl is like as generic as you can get for VTubers, so I can draw a cat girl holding a cute cat. It'll be great. I used to have cats, but they got old and died, unfortunately. Had them for a very long time. They were like 15 years old when they passed, so... They had good lives. Got to be around for a very long time doing many a cute cat thing. Haven't gotten new ones since then. My husband is allergic, so we've held off. And also my kids are very little and would give them perhaps a bit of a hard time. But you know, maybe we will again someday, maybe we won't. Who knows? All I know is that right now it is not a good time to have cats. Such is life. Okay, there we go. There's the one with the little white shirt, and he's doing something to the snowman. I'm sure whatever it is, he's having a great time. Let's see, do I want to plop a little bit of snow on these guys? No, I think the snow on a snowman is going to be tightly packed enough that it wouldn't actually like overlap them like the ones rolling around down here would. So I think I'll just keep them like that. And then... let's see. So I got 2 deer left before I get into the snowman. How do I want to get these deer? Let me go find a proper deer reference here. Do I have a deer reference open? I don't. Okay. Okay, let's get your silly little deer face. I decided to draw them both on a profile just because they look a little bit harder to draw from the front, and I don't need to go out of my way to make my life hard, so... Okay, this is a good one. So on this one, it looks like it's got a little bit of kind of a white or a gray on the top of its head. But I have the other colors pretty good. Alright, so I got kind of light brown there. How do I really not have... I don't know, it's pretty close to the color of this bunny, so I should be able to just use this one. I'm gonna use a normal brush, and from there... Let's see. Let's get those features in. You're not actually the same color, though. I like the color I picked, so I'll do that. Do you still look good as a shadow color? Mid. So, you know what? I'm not gonna be lazy. I'm gonna go pick proper colors. It's easy to get lazy after drawing for almost 3 hours, but I must resist. It's been like, what, 2.5 at this point? Yeah. I don't like that color, though. Let's pick a different one. That one's pretty good. Okay. Now I got good colors. So now I can go in and draw nice animals. How did I click on the wrong layer? I don't know how that happened. Brain is just especially absent-minded today. It happens. Okay, so the first thing I want to figure out is that little snout area. I think I actually had a decent here. So let's just really finish shaping it out. And deer, not quite as fluffy as bunnies, but I'll still be fluffing out the edges. So I don't have to get everything like super silky smooth. It'll be okay. And then let's see, I got some of this color kind of wrapping around where the nose is going to be, at least on the one I'm looking at here. So I can kind of draw it out like that. So that this way it'll at least be clear to me where the nose is going to go. Okay, and then kind of its jawline. It's a little thinner than what I have. And I'm not going to worry about the ear just yet. I'm going to go ahead and just cover that up, and I do not have the right color picked. So I guess I should add this to my swatch. Just so I don't have to keep guessing like this and picking colors from the animal itself. So I'll just... How does it keep going to the trim? Okay, I guess I'm encountering that creative bug again. It happens sometimes. Or sometimes it just randomly drags me down to another layer. I think it has something to do with panning right after clicking on a layer. Because I hit space to pan and then it teleports me. Yep, that's exactly what's happening. Okay, well it didn't happen there, but it is something I am unfortunately familiar with, so there we go. Oh, the foreground got hidden. Okay. Oh, that's fine. I'll leave it off for now. Okay. Shape of the head here. It kind of melds in with its neck a little bit more smoothly. And then what's going on around the eyes? At least the one I'm looking at has a little kind of light spot around the eyes, so I'll use that to kind of define where I will put it at the end here. That's where its little eye will go. Okay. Then it comes down and goes straight across for a little bit, kind of like that. And the deer I'm trying to draw is not actually at the correct angle in compared to the reference, so I'm kind of extrapolating, but I think it looks pretty alright. I think it looks pretty cute. I think I got the tilt of the head on it fine enough. But like I said, I'm going to draw the ears later. So I'll get the ears back on there in a little bit. I just kind of want to focus on getting its general shapes down. So let's see, how does this eventually turn into a body? They really do have skinny little necks, don't they? I am a little surprised. They always look a little bit bigger in my memory, I swear. Maybe because I really only see them from a distance. And I do feel like there's a little bump kind of at the base of the neck there before it kind of turns into body. And then we just got little tummy, and it goes up kind of near the hind legs here. Something like that. And they are surprisingly skinny through the back there. And then there's like shoulders. I kind of have those drawn, just not quite in the right place. And then the back arches downward quite a lot. Just the kind of things that I observe. And then it comes back up, and we kind of have kind of a round rump here. And then it comes out into legs and stuff. And a little deer tail. I'm not too worried about the stuff that I know is going to be covered by foreground. Okay. Let's try to get those little legs in now. I'm still just going to do all this on one layer. It's fine. They are very, very skinny. Yeah, like extremely. Holy cow. So they got a little bump kind of around the knee here. And then there's just like freaking twigs. Like we're talking like a crony leg to your skinny here. They are tiny. Let's see, this reference doesn't show what the hooves look like, so let me find another one. Ooh, this one's good. Okay, so they get a little thicker up at the ankles again. Gonna kinda de-emphasize that little knee. They're not quite that extreme, but I always tend to draw things a little bit more exaggerated and then take it back a little bit later. That just tends to be kind of how I roll. I find it a little bit easier. Okay, and there is another joint further up, but I'm not going to draw it. This is fine. I'll just kind of imply it. Okay, and then I want to fix up its little chest here. I feel like it's a little bit big. Deer chests are definitely a little bit on the big side, but I don't know. I feel like there are limits. Okay, that looks okay. I think I can be happy with that. Get his little leg back in there, and I think I want a little bit more brown coming down there. Okay. Now let's get that little foot. The little hoof. I just kind of continue down from the foot there and do something like this. This one is not standing on the ground yet. That's fine. I'll fix it at the end. But I just kind of wanted to get the shape. It's something like that. Perhaps I should be a little bit more precise, but you know what? I think it's actually okay. And I think I want to move the whole leg and not just the hoof there. We'll just send the whole leg just a little bit further forward. And I think I want to bring it down just a little, make the leg a little longer. And from here, I can turn the hoof a little bit and get a little bit flatter on the ground. There we go. I think that's all right. I see that kind of shape on deer ankles like this. It needs to be angled up a little bit, but the idea is correct, I think. I don't think I have ever drawn a deer before. No, I did draw one for Inktober, but that was only the head and not the body. So I guess I should specify that I've never drawn a deer body before. So this is new territory for me. That's why reference is important. So that this way I can go look at it and actually know what the heck I'm trying to draw. And I'm feeling lazy, so I'm just going to copy this. I'm just going to use the same leg and then put the changes in like dark spots around appropriately. I'll go ahead and get the black of the hoof in there for now. And let's see, this one has little white on the toes, and I think it's cute, so I'm gonna do it. Okay. Yeah, that seems good. So I'll just take this part and copy it over there. And we'll just put this one over here. I'll bring it a little further forward like this. And I'll adjust the hoof accordingly, so this way it is flat on the ground. And then I can just run the rest. This one is mostly going to be the tan color, though, because we're seeing kind of the inside. With just a little bit of brown on the end. Okay, there we go. And for the rest, I actually really do want to bring the foreground back, so that this way I know how much I have to care. Okay. So I have to care a little bit. Ah, dang it. I hate that. I hate it that it teleports me down when I don't want it to. Okay. Anyway. Let's see. I can't see well enough. But I can see that I need to care about this back leg just a little here. So what do their back legs look like? They kind of stick out like this a little bit more, I think. This is really, really thick. But it is that kind of shape. And then a foot over here. And I think it's fine that it looks like its leg is bent a little bit. It probably is. And then the other one is going to come like out through here. I'm just going to leave it a little bit straighter. So this way it kind of looked like it was walking or something. Okay, let's get the right color through there now. And it'll be something like that. And I'm going to put the foreground back on. So that this way, you know, once again, I see how much I need to care about how all of these connect. And I'll go back and forth. I think I'll even reduce the opacity of the foreground. Just so I see a little bit of haze where it's supposed to be. And I can kind of adjust how detailed I get accordingly. It's just like, why would I spend a lot of time drawing something that's just going to get covered up, right? So that's why I'm kind of doing it like this. But I do need to know roughly where things are. Otherwise, it just doesn't work. And let's see, a little bit of brown on this end, I think. Okay, and I think that's fine. But let's get its ears. So what do your ears do? I had the ears on this one kind of flat, but I can't actually find any deer with flat ears. So I better go lift them up. What are they shaped like? They're just like giant diamonds. And there'll be another one like over here, and I'm not going to be able to see. So I'll do it in this color for now. I think it's probably going to do something like this. Start about there, go up and over and down and around. And then I'll make it the right color a little bit later. This is fine for now. Because now I can get in and lock the layer and dab on some shading. Actually, I think before I do that, I should pick a color for this white part. Just so that this way I can be derping around and I can come over and get whatever color I need nice and easily. That's pretty good. Okay. And let's see, I actually, before I start shading it, I do think I want to get those white dots on its fur texture in a better spot here. So I want to be just a little bit more accurate with that, I think. Actually, you know what? I can make my life easy and use my splatter brush. It's not exactly the right shape here, but it'll help me figure out where to put things, and then I can make them the right shape, and everything will be great. Splatterbrush is so good for getting some just random patterns without worrying about my silly human tendency to find patterns and things and not be able to make things like truly random. So good, man. Okay, and I think that's fine. Let's see, are there any, like, dots on your head or legs or anything? Not really. There are some on the back here, so I will plop a few down there. And I think that's sufficient. So, let's get some shading in now. I definitely want to start with the ears here, so that this way I can make them the proper color. Oh wait, I should use my airbrush like I keep saying. Habits, man. Very dark back there. And now I can switch and make this ear the proper color. It is perhaps a little bit big, but this deer can have like especially big and especially derpy looking ears. It's fine. Okay, and then I'll just, you know, switch back and forth until I get the level of shading that I want here. Let's get some colors up into the leg here. And at the end of all this, I'll just shade it all together and make them fluffy. And I don't mind that I'm coloring up some of the white spots with the wrong color. I don't really feel the need to be super precise about this. It's, you know, just little deer, little small detail. As long as they don't look out of place, I think that they will look okay. Okay, let's get some details on the tan now. This one is going to be like entirely dark. Actually, I should make the brown here entirely dark too. Okay. Get some dark on the tummy back there and on this leg back there and some on the spots where I see that the dark color kind of took over there. Okay. And I think that actually looks pretty all right. I mean, it's all a little messy, but that's okay. I don't think that the animals here have to be super neat. Let's make them fluffy. Maybe not... Maybe fluffy is the wrong word, but let's make them fuzzy. I'm just gonna make this guy a little bit fuzzier. So I'm being a little bit more reserved in my fluff making. Just a little. Especially around the legs here. I never really felt like they were especially furry. But you do see just little subtle hints of fur around them. So I will get enough just to kind of be a little bit fuzzy. Around the chest, there was a bit more fluff, though. So let's bring out that kind of fluff. Around the neck, things were still fairly short. So I'm not going to go very hard on it. Just kind of very gently moving things back and forth. Very, very gently. All their fur was very, very short. And this will probably be the last one that I do today. I'll finish the other deer next time. And this one might not even get its face. But I do want to kind of fluff him out. And then we can do his face next time too. I feel like it's a crime not to make ears a little bit fluffy, even if they're not necessarily. So I'm gonna do that. Just a little bit of extra fluff here. Little bit of extra fluff. Just because I think it's cute, and I realize I forgot to put in his highlights, but you know, that's alright. I'll get it at the end. Actually, I might have to get it next time. But we'll see. We'll see if I have enough time to get through it here. Deer a little bit bigger than bunnies. I underestimated how long it would take me to finish them. It's alright, what else is new? Okay, let's just fluff that out a little. Right around here, definitely needs a little bit of extra floof. Okay, and then down the tummy here. And I'll just kind of blend these two sections together with just a little bit of fur. And see, this is exactly why I wanted the foreground on. That this way it's clear which parts need to be, you know, more clear. If I didn't have those trees in the foreground done, I would not know that I don't really need to care about everything back here very much. But because I drew the tree first, I do now. I just think it's funny that I feel like the optimal way to work as a digital painter is like literally the opposite of what you do if you're an analog painter. I think it's very funny. Alright, well, I'm always happy to have lurkers too, don't worry. I do love my lurkers. But I hope you're able to sleep well. Thanks for stopping by. It's alright, I'll be heading out here soon shortly. I just want to, you know, finish up making this deer nice and fuzzy. Is everything, you know, if you're drawing an animal with fur, I do feel like they gotta be a little fuzzy. And I definitely like the way these spots look now that I'm kind of blending them. They definitely looked very questionable before, but now I think they look quite good. And I do think it looks just like a nice little deer fur pattern. I kind of look forward to getting the other one too. It's fun drawing new things. It's like maybe they don't turn out quite as strong as the things that I'm more familiar with, but it's fun. Doing new things is fun. And besides, look at him. He's just so fuzzy. Looks like he's having a great time, just building a snowman. Okay. Let's see here. Are there any other parts that need some attention? A little bit on the legs back here, I guess. Oh, that's a little bit too much there. Gotta show restraint when it comes to drawing things with shorter fur. I definitely don't want to overdo it. It's hard to overdo it when you're drawing something fluffy. It's very easy to overdo it when you're just doing something mildly fuzzy. So I definitely don't want to overdo it. Alright, do I have enough time to add a little bit of light? I don't think so. I don't want to take any chances and I don't want to rush. So I think I'll leave it there for now. I'm gonna hide the swatch, but we'll give this guy his face and some highlights next time. And I think I will stop here for now, but it's all really coming together. I don't have all the layers on because I don't have any of the lighting on right now. But everything else is there, and I think her outfit is looking the way I want, and the animals are looking cute. Look, you go to a cabin in the mountains to get away from the Walmart. There is no Walmart here. There are only good things here. Nothing that she has to shoot up. No. This is a happy world. This is the happy universe. And I will go ahead and leave it here for today. So, thank you all for coming. And I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I will see you all tomorrow. Keep drawing. It's great.